I'm going to do my best to explain the spores, and it is what sets your company so far ahead of anyone in the world, not just in network marketing, but any company in the world in terms of what we had. If you knew, if you understood, if our distributors really understood what was in these capsules, if they understood what it was, we would be selling 200,000 bottles per city per month. 200,000 bottles per city every single month. But we haven't really got into the details of what it is. Let me give you a clue. The spores, and I'll just describe it because I was there, because Holton was there, because Bernie, we saw the spore, we saw how it's harvested. So just picture the herb, and just picture at a certain time of the season, it's like a pollen. It's like a pollen, like it's a natural process. This is not grown, the spores in plastic bags. There's other companies that are trying to say, we got Ganoderma. Yeah, but are you talking plastic bag Ganoderma? Or are you talking about naturally certified organic Ganoderma? We've got certified organic. No one else has it. But during the season, what happens is it looks like a baby powder. Baby powder. Very, very fine. And it's on, you see it on top of the herb, you see it on the wood, on the log, you see it on the ground, you see this baby powder. And a spore is the life energy of the Ganoderma. It's the life energy. Just like nature, it's the life energy of the Ganoderma. But what they've done for thousands of years, and they do it today, is they collect just the spore powder that is on the top of the herbs. Are you following me? By hand, not by machine, by hand. Check this out. It takes 1,000 kilograms of collection to make 1 kilogram of spores. Anybody here? It takes 1,000 kilograms to collect, and they don't touch, if it's on the ground, they don't touch it. If it's on the wood, they don't touch it. Only on the top. They collect it, 1,000 kilograms will make 1 kilogram of spores. Now what they found, and what the scientists found, was that if you take the spores, this is like rocket fuel. This is like rocket fuel. There are, I'll explain something. The thickness of a spore is about the thickness of a human hair. Very, very, very small. And what they noticed, the scientists had noticed, that work with OrganoGold, is that there's a shell around that spore. There's a shell. And if you just take the spores, it's not going to absorb into your body, as it should be. So what the science said, what they did, they invested millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars and years to try to figure out how can we crack that shell, because it's so small. So what they did is they had the microscopes, they enlarged it by 1,600, 1,600%, so they could see, and they saw the shell, and they developed a technology that could crack the shell. They developed, no company in the world has the technology to crack a shell. None, except your company has it. So they celebrated, they cracked the shell, they said, this is amazing. They started looking at it again, and they found there's a second shell. There's a second shell. And so not only did they develop the technology to crack the shell, but they developed the technology to crack both shells. Crack, not smash, crack. So that we can get to the life energy of the spores, of the Ganoderma, the life energy. From that point, they developed a second technology. So we have a technology to crack the shell, and there's another technology to test what percentage of those shells are cracked. Is it 5%? Is it 10%? What is the purity of these spores? Everyone take another breath. Exhale. Because we have the technology to test, whenever we hear a company says, we've got spores, we grab them, send them down to our partners, and they test what percentage. Now, they've seen 2%. We've seen most of it is 0%. of other companies that say they have spores, there's not another network marketing company that has spores. Not one. They can't even think about having spores right now. You've got them today in EU. So when a company says, even if they're not a network marketing, we have spores, all right, we grab them, send them down, and we say test them. Most of the spores on the market, by the way, they're selling them for $500 one bottle. And when we test them, 0% crack shell rate. None. 0%. Now, we have seen some 2%, we have seen some 7%, but the highest we've ever seen in crack spores, 15%. 15%, but not consistent. The highest we've ever seen was 15. Are you ready? Your company, Organo Gold, every capsule. Are you ready for this? I can tell you after lunch. I can tell you after lunch. I'll take. You want to know? Would you like to know why your company is Organo Gold? Organo Gold. Organo Gold. Organo Gold. Organo Gold. You notice it's not Organo Bronze? It's Organo Gold. Because your company is the only company in history, only company in the world that can deliver 99.9, baby. 99.9. Your spores are 99.9% pure. That is why we call them rocket fuel. This Ganoderma is in the coffee and the tea and the hot chocolate. It's in all of our products. The Ganoderma is in all of our products. I like to call the Ganoderma, just so you get a good visual, Grandpa. He's like the grandpa. Why do we call him Grandpa? Because it takes a full season to harvest the Ganoderma. So the cycle to harvest Ganoderma is about 8 months, which is the full season. Approximately 8 months. So it's the full life of the Ganoderma, then they harvest the Ganoderma, and then you can eat it. This is a superfood, it's not a pill, okay? It's not a, you know, it's a superfood. Does that make sense? So you eat a superfood. You don't take a pill, you eat a superfood, right? Like an apple is a food. It's a food, make sense? But the Ganoderma is the grandpa, the full life. 8 months from the time that it starts to grow till the time that they harvest it to get the Ganoderma, it takes a full month. Now, when you think of Ganoderma, for your notes, think of your body. Think of your body, think of your energy. Energy. So think of body, say Ganoderma. My body. My energy. Okay, training over for the Ganoderma. If someone says, well, how does it work? I don't know. All I know is I take Ganoderma every day and I feel awesome. Okay? What we have on the product. Now, when you think of mycelium, think of your nervous system. Your nervous system. Think of your brain. Some of you need some mycelium. Thank you. Some of you need some mycelium, right? You know when you go, oh, I can't remember, what was that I was supposed to do? A CGM, 4 CGMs a week. How many CGMs a week? What are the 4 steps? Mycelium. Okay, take mycelium. Now, Organo Gold's products work together. They work together. They're synergistic. They work together for your body, for your organs, for your nervous system, and for your brain. How many want to get excited and fired up right now?